started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all of those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cuppa or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you guys for coming in. 4 people. Wow. Usually I sit. Oh, I've always said I'll start it up as soon as there's 8 people. But I know there's other big creators on right now. And in the States, it is Friday night. It's Friday night in the States. Um, People go to dinner, they go have drinks, they go do what they do on Friday nights. So we'll just carry on and keep going. And if anybody else decides to drop in, that's just a bonus. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for being here. You guys hit the like for me. Pink Fan, good morning. Lainey, I hope you're well. This is going to be a tough one. I'll have to keep my opinions in check. Number one priority. Yeah, I know it's a tough topic. It's a tough topic. But I feel like there's maybe because I watch true crime and but I feel like everywhere we turn, on the news, when you walk past a newspaper, when everywhere in our world now, it just feels like something else, somewhere else is coming out about a missing child or, somebody who you might have looked up to and or even supported them financially by buying their movies or their music. We're finding out that these aren't exactly upstanding citizens, you know. Um, and I hate it that these are topics that we've got to discuss, but I mean it's real. It's really real, and I think it's important. There's a lot of big cases out there right now, a lot of big cases. And I'm also of the opinion that through this whole Diddy trial thing that's going to come out, um, there's going to be more. Now, I think they're going to cover up a lot of people because that's just what they do. Money talks. They're going to cover up for a lot of people, but I'm of the opinion one scumbag at a time. If we don't get the whole bag of tricks, we're just going to have to do them one at a time because somebody's going to talk somewhere, hopefully sooner than later, and we can get these guys and girls off the streets. Makes me sick. It makes me completely sick. And I think about it now, I definitely think about it more now than I did when I was raising my kids. Probably because it's talked about more now, and I think more's happening now. I think it's always happened, but it wasn't as widespread as it is now. So yeah, trigger warning for anybody. I know that this is a tough discussion to have. Um, and it may be triggering for some people and bring back some emotional trauma. And if you can't hang around, I so get it. I really, really do. Um, Protect yourself. And if you can't hang out for this one, thank you for stopping by. And I totally respect your feelings on that. Age appropriate conversation, make them aware of the dangers. Yes, a good, open, honest, trusting relationship that will come to you with any concern. You know your children better than anyone. That's right. That's right. Parents are so scared um, to have these discussions. They're uncomfortable. They're not fun. And they have to be started at a very young age because if you're waiting until your kids become teenagers to do it, to have these discussions with your teenagers don't want to talk to you about anything. I know. I raised 5. Um, they don't want to if you haven't created an open line of communication with your kids that nothing is off topic, you can have a discussion about anything at a very young age. You're waiting until those teenage years. It's not going to happen because it's already awkward, right? So that's a good idea, Pink Fan. Good morning, good day, good night. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Shut up, Bleenie. It's already done. Thank you so much. I'll see True Crime. Hello. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Ann's place. Hello. Saturday morning there. Yeah, y'all are already into a Saturday. That's right. That's right. See, I'm so screwed up sometimes by the times. I'm like when Maggie comes on and it's already light outside there. I'm like, wait, what? It's such a weird thing for me. 9:36 a.m. Wow. Yeah, it's 2:41 here. Rose Petal, hello. Rose Petal's at work. We'll get you through it, Rose Petal. We're going to help you through this night, honey. And I hope it's an easy night, a quick night, and you find just one thing to smile about at least. We know only too well, sadly, right? The world is going to hell in a basket. Jesus, take the wheel. Amen. I suspect he's also going to be silenced. You are correct, Anne. Like the other one was. There's big, powerful people that don't want him to talk. Yeah, just my personal. I'm in that same opinion as with you and Pink Fan as well. My worst nightmare. My girls have always been made aware, right? Well, you know, I do have a couple of thoughts on it as well, and as well as some firsthand information um, on some of this. And I don't know. I think maybe I have told the story here before. Hello, 10 people. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, I have told the story about, my daughter almost being kidnapped before in Germany. And when she was, I want to say she was 7. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Donna Clark, hello. In the bushes, leaning been a little under the weather. I'm okay, just tired. Diddy will be silenced like Epstein, unfortunately. Yeah. You're right, Donna. Listen, I hope you feel better, honey. A lot of people are sick right now. A lot of people are sick right now. We need to start passing out chicken soup, chicken broth. Everybody drink some chicken broth. Um, I hope you get well, honey. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Get you some rest. You missed it, and I think I just touched on it one time, talked about it one time, but yeah, I'll talk about that and then talk about a child predator that I worked hand in hand with. Um, and I don't mind pulling up his I don't mind pulling up his information. Uh, he was a friend of mine. Oh, it sickens me to this day to think about that. Sickens me to this day to think the hours we worked together. Mm. I'm more aware it happens and applies to boys. Also, that is correct. And a lot of boys don't realize that. I remember telling a baby child, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be. And he's like, Mom, that happens to girls. Like, okay. Well, this is what I need you to research, and I need you to research this, 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 and I'm sure he didn't everything, but he came back to me a couple weeks later, and he's like, there are a lot of guys missing, but I want you to understand it happens mainly to girls. And I said, well, is it that it happens mainly to girls, or is it that only girls talk about it? It's more, um, I think it's harder for a boy to admit it. I just do, sadly. Love you too, Miss Donna. I taught my sons from very little what to look out for, etc. With two of them, it happened. They got called to cars offering candy, and they both ran screaming their heads off. Oh my gosh. Got home white in the face and wide-eyed. Ah, the sad thing is that it's not that open anymore, right? I mean, when we were kids, that's what we were told. Don't go with the candy man. You know what I mean? Like I remember my parents having that talk to me. Anybody offers you candy, you just run away. Don't even talk to them. But predators aren't doing that anymore. They're not offering candy. They're playing mind games. That's what I think. A lot of them are playing mind games now. Um, it's so sad. So sad. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Did you have a good Friday? Did you have a good Friday? End of the week. Right on. Those of you that work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, it's your weekend. It's the freaking weekend, baby. You know when what was his name? I just lost all track of what I was thinking. You don't like when that happens to me. The other singer, help me out, you guys. What was the other singer that went to prison for R. Kelly? That's who it is. R. Kelly. When he actually got indicted, you guys, I thought a lot more in the music world would come out. I really did. I thought he would just sing like a birdie. Um, and someone shut him up. I do believe that. Uh, and as big as Diddy is, and he's big in the music industry world, dipped his hand into some acting and stuff like that, but he's big. I still think someone will shut him up as well. I did read in the indictment, so his lawyers submitted to the courts for his bond to be bonded out, and he put his house up, you guys, 45 for $500,000 home, right? Am I right about that? Can't remember all the zeros now. Anyways, he put his home up for collateral, up for his bond. Judge still said, no, sir. Thank God for that, right? Problem is they become so pompous and they become just they get so big in their head, they feel like they're untouchable and that they are somehow better, than the rest of the world, and unfortunately, they get treated a lot better than the rest of the world sometimes. I mean, look at look at Justin Timberlake, you know, he got he's arrested for drunk driving. What'd he get out of it? What was it, 100 and something hours of community service? Do you guys think he's gonna be walking the side of the road, out there on the highway picking up trash? No. No, no. He's probably gonna be doing some counseling, he'll go to schools, talk to people at schools. That's because they get preferential treatment, right? And um, I think if we as the public now just here on According to Leanie, I'm not gonna make a difference in the world, but I mean, I don't go out and buy records, I don't buy anything on, iTunes or anything like that. I'm not supporting these people because 'cause they're no better than I am. I'll wait for it to come out free. Same thing in the movies. I'm not going to pay money to go to somebody's movie. We don't know what these people's lives are. I'm not holding them, on some kind of pedestal, and that's what happened. We put them on pedestals, and they became untouchable. Um, I know I'm talking 30 years ago, now it's different, I'm sure. Right, Ann? Pink says, "I think it was very different, us growing up to now." Yeah, I think so too. I also think he's the key to Tupac and Biggie. Absolutely, 100%. Yes. Yeah. They think they can do what they want because they have money to bribe themselves out of things. That's right, Ann's Place. That's right. Donna says, "Leanie, I taught my son to start screaming too. One day he was 3, a an older woman approached our shopping cart. He had a Cabbage Patch doll and started screaming, she's stealing Wendell Joe." Oh, oh, well, I mean, I hope he still has Wendell Joe. Good on you, Donna. Good on you. I read that he is held in much comfort and eating well. Oh, I'm sure, Ann's Place. I'm sure he is. I'm sure. Imagine all those people, you guys, all those people that he knows that have been to his parties, that have done the shit. He wasn't doing that alone, you guys. The PCA's out there. You guys could read it. I was going to pull it up here and read it, but I just thought I'm not doing it. But the PCA is out there. Some of the shit he did that he's being accused of doing that's in the PCA that got him arrested, it's vile. It's disgusting that a human could do that to another human. It's disgusting. Um, and there's stuff I'm sure they don't know about or stuff they can indict him on because there's not enough evidence against him. But the PCA is out there. I encourage you to look it up and see what these men and women, but men are doing in high places. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I read he has held much cover. People in high places pull strings to protect themselves. Exactly right. He was Wendell Joe. I love that so much. He has Wendell Joe still. Yeah, I love that. It made me chuckle too, Pink fan. PDD is really disgusting involving his own kids. That is correct. Yes. Well, when you're raised, in a house that all that looks normal, that all that violence and crap is made to be normal. That's how they grow up. That's how they grow up. That's how they grow up. And it is a world full of sick ones. That is correct. So sad now. We talked about it We've talked about it many times on here how when we were kids, our moms used to just kick us out of the house, go. Well, not in the neighborhood I lived in, we have to go to the backyard, but in most neighborhoods, you just went out front, you went played, and you went riding your bike, hanging out with your friends and stuff, and you better be on that porch or in the door by the time the street. I mean, that was our clocks, the street lights, right? Street lights. And nowadays it's just not. It's just. I remember thinking I would sit. My parents were very overly protective, but where we lived, it was a lot of gang activity um, and stuff going on. And so we were in that damn house all the time. And I remember looking out my bedroom window at kids playing on the street after dark and thinking, I wish I could go out there. I wish I could go out there. Like their parents are cool. They were all sitting on their bikes, just huddled up in the middle of the street, talking and laughing and carrying on. And there I was looking out my bedroom window. But I thank God now that I had parents like that, sitting up them just along with their sick comments and chat on this platform. That's right. People forget. I mean, that there are people actually in these chats that are predators. It's disgusting. You don't know the next person sitting next to you from Adam. You really don't. I mean, it's an excuse to say it was done to me. That's why I do it now. Yes, I have heard that. I have heard that before. It's disgusting. Bad things happened to me when I was young, and I'd never be able to do any of it to a child. Right. I actually have heard that. Nobody said that to my face, but I have heard that just like on the TV or in interviews and stuff like that with people in prison. And I'm just like, oh my God, how could you do that? How? People have no souls though. They don't. I just believe they just have, they're missing just the key component to being a human, um, which is conscience. Conscience, right? It's so sickening. So when I was a GM at McDonald's, my owners owned 8 of them. Okay. And we had one senior maintenance guy that would travel all 8 of the stores. If something broke down that was imperative, like a grill or something like that, he could get there and he could fix it, he would. Or, he just did the big maintenance stuff that wasn't under warranty, and he traveled all of our stores and did that. And when we were fixing to come up on big inspections, he was always the one that was there. He'd come in. He worked many overnights with me trying to make sure that my store was ready for, inspections to be done on it and stuff like that and everything. And I got a call one day from my owner. And usually when I was at work, I didn't care if my owner called me. I wasn't answering that phone. I didn't answer my cell phone. And they used to fuss at me all the time. We can't get in touch with them. I'm like, well, excuse me, I'm at work. Call me later. Unless it's important, like it's a dire need, don't call me because I'm not answering you. I don't have nothing to say. I'm at work. Um, I loved working for those people. So I got a call that morning and I didn't answer it. And of course, then I got a text message that said, it's important, pick up the phone. And it was from my owner operator. And so they called back and I answered, and they're like, we just want to let you know because it's going out on the news right now, that his name is Kobe. His last name's Kobe, and we called him Kobe. And they're like, Kobe was arrested last night for CSAM. They didn't say CSAM. They said the thing, the real thing. I was blown away, you guys. I was blown away. I was like, what? What? Pink fan, and I'm so sorry. I agree with more reasons, and pain, suffering, wouldn't wish that on anybody else, right? Never could hurt anyone like that, so I know them saying that's right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. You using. Oh no, it's terrible. No, mm-mm. I feel like trauma should teach you something and make you empathetic to the next person. That's what I feel like. I think there's a lesson to be learned in everything, and if you can't learn a lesson in your trauma, to at least not to inflict that on somebody else, or to be aware um, that someone next to you may have the same trauma, and you can't feel that, um, you're missing a key component of humanity. Got a call from nature. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Hit the like. Anyway, so I got the call from that guy, from my owners, and I was blown away. I was completely blown away. I think I had seen him like 2 days prior. He was in my store and we were doing some stuff. So of course, me being me, I finished up my work, and I've always, always, even before I uh, came on YouTube, have been interested in different crimes and stuff like that. And so I went looking for the PCA, and I went looking for his. In Indiana, you can get mugshots. Uh, they're public domain. Once they ain't, nothing is sacred here in Indiana. They're putting your shit out there. Even if you're a minor, someone's going to get your shit and they're going to put it out there. Um, and so I went looking for the mugshot. It wasn't up yet. It wasn't posted yet to the website. Um, but the news had already run it that morning that about Kobe, and I was sickened. I was so sick. It was a rough day to get through. And anyway, so he was. I'm thinking in my head. This is what I'm thinking, you guys. I'm thinking, not Kobe, not Kobe. I used to talk to him all the time, like, Kobe, you need a girlfriend. Like, you need to get laid, y'all. I'm like, after hearing that he was, and I remember asking him, "Why don't you have a freaking girlfriend? What is wrong with you? You're a decent looking person. Like, get a girlfriend. Maybe you quit being so shitty to everybody, you know?" And he used to just laugh at me and tell me to be quiet. He wouldn't talk about it and stuff like that. So one day we were having a real heart to heart. And I was like, "Kobe, what's wrong with you, man? Why don't you have a girlfriend?" I was like, "I think you'd be less depressed if you had a girlfriend." And he's like, I'm just not interested. He said, "I like doing my games." He was into fencing. He actually worked at one of the colleges um, as a volunteer for the fencing classes. And he was really into it, really big into it. And he said, "That just takes up all my time." Well, now that I knew what I knew, the reason why he didn't have a girlfriend is because he wasn't interested in women or men for that matter. And it made me sick. So eventually, it I found everything, which just made me completely sad to see his uh, mugshot and see the charges that were against him and stuff like that. He had CSAM on his computer, on his phone. He was catfishing online young girls, and how they caught him was there was what do you call it? Those people that work, like, I think for the FBI. Wish JB was here. Um, Homeland Security or whatever, and they play child predators on the internet to capture these people. Or they play either no, they play the victims, and then the child predator will think that's a young person, and then they'll start flirting and that's how they catch them. Well, that's what happened. Um, One of those agents was acting like a child, and he was talking to her online. What a fucking dick. And they got him. And then they raided his home, took out 3 computers, which we knew he was computer tech savvy kind of person, because he would always fix our shit too when it broke down, our computer stuff. So it didn't surprise me that he had like 3 computers in his house, you guys. You would not believe, oh my God, you guys would not believe the cameras he had set up in his house. I don't know if he was planning something else or what was going on. It wasn't brought to court. It wasn't none of that stuff. But he had cameras like set in different rooms of his house, like that could, that was constantly videoing. And I don't know, that just gives me a bad vibe, but he was never indicted on anything that had to do with touch. You know, he was soliciting pictures, passing around pictures of minors and talking to a young girl online. So, I mean, I don't know. But y'all, my heart fell into my lap whenever my owners got all 8 of us GMs together and they were like, "Look," they said, "We just don't believe he did it. We just don't believe it." And I'm standing there going, "What the fuck?" You know, they've got his computer. Who did it? He lives alone. You know, he's always lived alone for like he was 30 something years old. The man's been alone for over 10 years. And they were just like, "We y'all, they didn't come right out and tell us, and it doesn't tell you on any of the court documents who bailed, who posts bail, but I am positive, just within my heart, that my owners posted bail on him and got him out of jail, right? Uh, it wasn't. I don't remember how long it was. So he got out of jail. They sent him to my store to work on something. Soon as he walked in, I just looked at him. Now I believe him to be guilty. Okay. I've got minors working for me. Now when he's out on bail for that, um, he didn't have to register as a sex offender because he hasn't been to court yet, right? So he is not ordered to stay away from minors. But I didn't care. I just felt like I was letting these kids down that worked for me, their families down, their parents. Like I knew a lot of their parents. They would come in, chit chat with me, and I'd be like, I had good I was mama there, Mick Medea. That's what they called me. And I was sick when I saw him walk in, and legally I had no standing. He could come in that store and whatever my owners told me to do. I got on that phone and I called my owner and I was like, "I need him out of my store right now. I've got minors here." And they were like, "Yeah, but he hasn't been found guilty, so he doesn't have to register." I was like, "That's not my problem. My problem is that I believe him to be guilty. I believe there's enough evidence against the man that he is guilty. And I have got 15 and 16-year-olds behind this counter right now that are not happy that he's here. And um, so I'm either leaving with, my minors and you can come and run the store, or you can get him out of my store." So they called him, they told him to leave. And I was grateful for that. I believe everybody should have their court date. I really, really do. But I mean, there are just some hands down cases, right? Everybody knows they did it. You know what I mean? They know they did it. The police know they did it. You know they did it. Everybody knows. All the evidence is right there laid before you. There could have been nobody else. So they sent him to their biggest store in another town. Well, the news got in touch with somebody from that store, was not happy that he was in there. They called the news station out. The news came out and did a big, big thing on it, that my owners were letting a child predator work in their stores around minors, around people that were under 18 years old. And it was a big thing. It was a big thing. So they kind of had to hide them away now, right? Put them over. They had bought a house to run their business out of, and it had all of our stuff there. And we used to have our meetings there at the house and stuff. So they had to put him over to the house to let him. We have to bring computers to him that needed to be fit. No, he's still working on computers, and they pulled 3 out of his own house and his laptop and his phone, right? My owners even got him a new phone, you guys. Guess what happened? I forget how long it was that he was actually out of prison. The dumb fuck started the same shit on the new phone that my owners got for him and on one of the work computers. Uh, did he really think he was smarter than the FBI or Homeland Security or whoever covers that? Did he really think he was smarter that just because he had a new number that they weren't going to track his sickening ass and get him? They come and rearrested him uh, at the our little home office thing. Rearrested him right there. The news crews were there, you guys. So they rearrested him. They put him in jail. And I just recently looked up to see if he was out yet because I forget how many years he got. Um, and he's out. He's out. I don't know where he is. My owners don't, they sold out. They're retired now. So I know he's not working for them, but how many people does that happen to? How many people? He's a reoffender. You think just because he spent a couple years, I don't know how many years he ended up spending in there. Um, there are people that just can't be rehabilitated, right? That's what I believe. They just can't. And but how do you know unless you let him out? I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know if we need stricter laws. I don't know what we need. I don't have a clue. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that I wonder about him a lot, and I wonder if he's reoffending. I mean, he couldn't even keep himself clean during the little time he was out on bond, which I'm glad to tell you guys, uh, my owner operators lost that money because he reoffended. So I forget how much they put up. I think it was like $8,000 they put up to bond him out. They lost it because he reoffended. Eh, and I thought poetic justice. I was happy. I was happy. Leni, if they exchange pictures across the state lines, it's automatically a federal offense. Yeah, that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. Not to say it wouldn't progress to touch. Right, exactly. I'm not saying that, but I just, I don't know you. I don't put it past him that he had, but there was no way to prove it. I think that's what Stephen Stearns will be found guilty of selling pictures on the dark web. Right, right. Um, but also, I mean, they've got him for, you know, sex with a minor, dumbass. And that's what brought me to this, really, because I have been trying my best to stay out of the whole Madeline Soto case, not because I don't care, I care. But when I get invested, I just fuck up my own self. Um, I've tried so hard, so hard. And because I've been watching Grizzly True Crime again, she does a lot of coverage on it. She does it so well. It makes it just understandable that I started this rabbit hole and I hate it. And I absolutely hate that I'm there, that I'm in the rabbit hole with it. Um, I've got a lot of thoughts about that case. A lot of thoughts about that case. Why the mother's not in jail yet is my biggest question to the whole thing. If for nothing else, I mean, I can't prove or disprove that she didn't know what was going on. I think she did, but I don't like to be. I don't want to be judge and jury of that. But at least the least of all of this, she needs to be in jail for um, neglecting her child. She failed her child, you guys. She put her child in a very scary situation, a very vulnerable situation. As a parent, I could not imagine sending my 12-year-old off to bed with anybody. Y'all go upstairs. I'm tired. I need a good night's rest. Uh, What? Who does that? Oh my God. It's terrible. It's terrible. Pink says an addiction, a sickness is a sickness they can't control. I don't believe they want to stop. I believe that as well. I don't think they want to. Me too. The bits I've seen and heard have made me physically sick to my stomach, a heinous monster. Yes, I agree. That case is driving me crazy. I agree about the mom. I've tried so hard. Just tried so hard. Because I'm so involved, you guys, in the Idaho murders. I'm so involved in Delphi, and I'm like, I cannot add another one of these things on my plate. Um, but I can't help it. I just can't help it. I see that little girl's face, and then I see her mother's face, and I just want to walk up and punch the shit out of her. How do you do that to that baby? I don't understand people. Sleuth Fairy, hello. Good to see you, love bug. That started at 8 years old. Ah, ain't it so sickening? Ain't it? My mother knew her father was one, and that didn't stop her from getting him to babysit me. Same moms I have no answer for. I mean, is it a mental ill? What is it? What is it with these women? Because I've heard of that before as well, that the female, the wife, the mother in the house knew that her children were being abused by somebody, and they either called them a liar and said it wasn't happening. They protected the man, and or they just turned a blind eye to it. Why? Is that a mental illness? Do they have a mental illness? I don't understand as a mom. Even if I wasn't a mom, just as a human, to know that a baby to me, you guys, is 30 and below. I'm sorry. I still call my over 30-year-olds baby. They're just my babies. But I don't understand. I wonder sometimes if it comes back to, back in the day, the older days, girls got married a lot younger. Girls were, and even in some countries today, girls are being married at 12, 13, 14 years old. Do they think, well, I'm fine. It happened to me. I'm fine. Or do they think he's not really hurting them? I really want to talk to somebody who had that experience and find out what is their psyche like. What made you think that that was okay, or to discredit your child? Remember the old saying, I'm sure you guys have heard it by your parents or maybe your grandparents. Children are to be seen and not heard. You guys, children are to be seen and not heard. Isn't that the saddest thing? I mean, I'm not blaming my grandparents or my parents for saying that. They didn't know any better. But I think some people still have that mentality. If a child is going against an adult, the adult is the one telling the truth, because by God, they're an adult and they know stuff. And a child is still in make believe. So did we teach our kids that? Were we taught that? Children are to be seen, not heard. So we shouldn't have a relationship with the adults in our life. Maybe, I don't know. It's some of the old sayings that they lived by. My parents lived by that too. I'm gonna tell you nothing my parents lived by, you guys, and I'm not blaming my parents at all. My parents tried to protect me. Um, but how could you protect someone that when you didn't when you don't have that line of communication. But I remember my parents also saying, "What goes on in this house stays in this house." Did you guys ever hear that? You know how they say what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas? Well, we were told as a kid, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Meaning we weren't to go talk our business to the school counselors or teachers or to the kids outside. Nobody knew what was going on in our house. Now, I think my parents were raised that way as well, but also, I knew that, when I was a kid, that's when, people started taking a stand against spanking your children, and I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into my beliefs about that. But people started taking the stand, against spanking your children when I was a child, and we got our asses whooped. We got spankings, and, well, I don't even call them spankings. I don't think my dad knew how to spank. He just knew how to do it the way his dad did it, and so he didn't want anybody to know. I think in his heart he knew it was wrong, or that I knew he could be arrested for it. So we didn't talk. We didn't talk about what happened in our home. It's the saddest thing. Um, Let me see. Pink says, like I said to Maggie last night, in my opinion, she basically offered her daughter up on a plate. Um, I think you're correct. I really, really do. I was listening to G and she was talking about how, maybe because the mother said in an interview that she just wasn't interested in sex anymore, that she offered her daughter to keep a man around. Ooh! As Mother Sleuth Fairy says, we can't trust anyone, especially when you're dating. We are protectors. Jen is guilty of not protecting her child, in my opinion. Absolutely. The least, the least. I am against, 100% against ever bringing, if you've got children and you're divorced or you've never been married, whatever, you got children living at home, teenagers, children's babies living at home, and you're single. Don't be bringing anybody. I don't care if you're a single father or a single female. Don't be bringing anybody home. You barely know them. Why would you bring them around your kids? And your kids are gonna. This is what gets me with people. Um, the kids are gonna grow up. They're gonna grow up, and you're still gonna be able to have a life. Um, but I guess when you're in the mix of it, it doesn't feel like that, right? But for me, I'm like, do your thing. If you need a date or you need to go do whatever it is adults, consenting adults do it outside the house. If your kids are in school, go have you a hookup. Whatever it is you got to do. You're a parent first. And parenting doesn't mean just making sure your kids are clothed and fed and are sleeping in a bed at night. I think we forget that. Her answer for that was when I confronted her at age 30, oh, I didn't think he'd do it to our children since he knew we know. Oh my gosh, Anne, that's terrible. I am so sorry for you. Oh, wow. Did she ever apologize to you, Anne? Did he ever apologize? What happened? He did it to her and her sisters. Why would he not carry on with the granddaughter? Oh my gosh, that is horrible. There's no excuse to pimp out your daughter. That is correct. My worst damage didn't come from the deeds. My mom's words did it the most. She said exactly this: don't go tell anyone this happened to you, because then they'd know you're a dirty little girl. Ugh, for years, I blamed myself. Oh, that is heart wrenching, Anne. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry for you. And the saddest thing also is that they bel they believed that, right? Like, some women truly believed that it was the girl's fault, the child's fault. Mm, for years, I blamed myself. Wow. Pinky says, "You are not and never were to blame." That is right. Mhm. Smoothie says, "I was dating a pro football player. He wanted to take her to his pet farm. I said, nope, I would never let a man alone with my kid. There's no reason for it. You were correct. There's no reason. Bring a goat to your house. Let your child pet it, or let you'll go with her." I know that now, Pink Fan, but it took years, many mistakes, and a lot of therapy to feel normal. Ah, and I am incredibly sorry for you. No, he never did either, did she? But she did phone with me and say he was dying of prostate cancer and begged me to forgive him so he can go to heaven. I said, never, ever. So is your mom still alive, Anne? Or has she passed as well? Oh my gosh, that is terrible. That's terrible. Sluthy, you're a good mama, honey. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, girl. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys hit the like 21 here now. Can you guys please hit the like? She's passed. And nobody ever apologized, huh? Nobody ever owned that. Oh, man. You don't have to thank me, Sluthy. That's all you, girl. That's all you. Um, wow. I wow. I wonder how many people, I just don't, what scares me about like these big cases that are going on right now is that we become so desensitized to it. Um, and I do think that happens. I think that people just think, oh, sorry for her, but it's happening all over. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you can be desensitized to anything, really anything. The more you listen, the more you talk about it, the more you engage with it. That's why I don't like to do this all the time. I will never do true crime all the time. I will never do anything all the time that's big stuff, mental health, anything like that, because I don't want to become desensitized to that. And I don't want anybody I know to be I want to always um, be able to care enough to think and pray and hopefully have some kind of comfort to give somebody. You know what I mean? And when you become desensitized to something, you don't have that anymore. You just, it's just another story, right? It's just another story, but it's not. I'm so glad God saw fit to give me 4 beautiful sons and no girls. My boys taught me to forgive men in general. Wow. And I didn't think a girl would have had any life in my house. I'd have been all over her to protect her. I understand that. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad you taught your boys, though. I'm glad you taught your boys because, it happens to boys. It really, really does. It really does. And let's just be real. It's not just men that do it. There are women that do it as well. It's the saddest thing. As Maggie says, let me get a swig. Let me get a swig. Incredible. All right, guys, I'm going to take a really quick break. I'm going to take a really quick break. I need a Dury and I need another coffee. What time is it? Let me see. We've been on here almost an hour. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be a long one, guys. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, maybe see if Mags wakes up and comes in, have a discussion with her a little bit about the book she's reading. Okay, Anne, I understand. Thank you for coming in, Anne. Big hugs to you, and thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, I really hated hearing it, and I know everybody else did too. But you never know when your story is the story that's going to save somebody or wake someone up. Pink Fan says, Anne, you're an amazing woman and have gone on to do amazing things with your life. Be proud of you. Yes, I agree. Hi, Melly Joe. Got to edit today's video and get it up. All right, Anne, I will look for it. Took many years to talk about it. I'll just bet. I'll bet. I am so thankful you did, and I'm so thankful you did. I think you should. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And if your story helps just one person or saves one child, it's worth telling. And so thank you for that. All right, guys, give me just a few minutes here. Let me get me another coffee and get me a dairy. Big hugs, and I'll check in on your video, babe. All right, BRB, guys. BRB.
Yeah. This is a smoke break song, or it might be a coffee song. Just everyone sing along. Go and take a pee. This is a smoke break song. Lunch lady's smoke break song. She doesn't write them to be alone. That's just the way it's gonna be. So what are y'all into? Hey Richie, have you drank a few? I drank a few too, back in '93. This is a Pete dance song. Everybody better be getting on. Sit on the pot and pee, even if you have a wee. This is the beefcake song. He needs coffee for his drive to be gone from the house so he can make some money. This is an Aussie song. Everyone just sing along. We'll sing Hey True Blue and Grieve with the Cooey. This is a British song. It's a quite proper song. We will all go mad unless you sing along. Okay, that's long enough for our professional smoker. Come back to your chat. Great host Leanie. Hotbox that cigarette. Your song is over yet? My words I'm starting to forget because we don't ever sleep. Hit the like chicken, LL Cool Mom out. I'll be one ticking, LL Cool Mom out. Everyone just sing along. We'll sing Hey True Blue and Grieve with the Cooey. This is a British song. It's a quite proper song. We will all go mad unless you sing along. Okay, that's long enough for our professional smoker. Come back to your chat. Great host leading. Hot box that cigarette. Your song is over yet. My words I'm starting to forget because we don't ever sleep. Hit the like chicken. LL Cool Mom out. Hope you want chicken. LL Cool Mom out. How? Hotbox. That's the only words I'm starting to forget because we don't ever sleep. Hit the like chicken. LL Cool Mom out. Whoa, come on. Yeah. This is a smoke break song, or it might be a coffee song. Just everyone sing along. Go and take a pee. This is a smoke break song. Lunch lady's smoke break song. She doesn't like them to be alone. That's just the way it's gonna be. So what are y'all into? Hey Richie, have you drank a few? I drank a few too, back in '93. This is a Pete dance song. Everybody better be getting on. Sit on the pot and pee, even if you have a wee. This is the beefcake song. He needs coffee for his drive to be gone from the house so he can make some money. This is an Aussie song. Everyone just sing along. We'll sing hey true blue and green with the cooey. This is a British song. It's a quite proper song. We will all go mad unless you sing along. Okay, that's long enough for our professional smoker. Come back to your chat. Great host Leanie. Hot box that cigarette. Your song is over yet. My words I'm starting to forget because we don't ever sleep. Hit the like chicken. LL Cool Mom out. I'll be one chicken. LL Cool Mom out. Everyone just sing along. We'll sing hey true blue and green with the cooey. This is a British song. It's a quite proper song. We will all go mad unless you sing along. Okay, that's long enough for our professional smoker. Come back to your chat. Great host leading. Hot box that cigarette. Your song is over yet. My words I'm starting to forget because we don't ever sleep. Hit the like chicken. LL Cool Mom out. Hope you want chicken. LL Cool Mom out. How?
Hello. Hello. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Donna. Thank you for reminding everybody to hit the like button. I appreciate it so much. I have anxiety. Sick of anxiety. I'm sick of it. This top messages things always gets me wondering why YouTube. I don't understand it either. I have heard because I did some researching on it, and it is. I don't know. I don't understand what's there, but it says like people that are normal chatters and stuff. That's who you're going to see. So like if somebody comes in and there's a lot of chat going on, which There's not, but if there was, then, someone who's not used to chatting here a lot, you won't see a lot of their messages, which is terrible. So I always tell everybody, check it. Make sure you're not in top messages. I'm gonna just want to reach out, give that little girl the biggest hug takes strength to overcome. Yes. Lolly and Pops, hello. Good to see you. So my mind doesn't comprehend how moms can be so hurtful and ignorant to this stuff. Yes. Yes. This mom in South Florida threw her 1-year-old baby out the car window because she spilled. What? Are you kidding me? Wow. 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 Oh gosh. Listen, I know this is harsh and it may not be everybody's belief, and I don't really care because all that I care about is my belief right now on this. If you go to jail or you're accused, hands down accused of a crime and convicted of any kind of child crimes, harming a child, I think we should just um, fix them to where they can't have kids ever again. I know that's not a popular opinion. I really don't care. I'm sick of seeing kids hurt. I'm sick of reoffenders. We're putting people in jail, you guys. This is how sick America is. This is how sick, and don't get me wrong, I love my country. I'm a true patriot. I bleed red, white, and blue, except for during football season, uh, college football, then I bleed uh, crimson and cream. But here's one of the problems in our judicial system. Let people walk the streets, get out of prison for heinous crimes against children because of overcrowding. And we're keeping people in that are smoking pot or passing pot around. Y'all, there's something wrong with that. I don't care if they have been caught 5 times with, or 20 times or a million times shooting up something into their own arm. I think if we have prison overcrowding, and I've got 2 people standing in front of me, one's got track marks a mile long because he's self-harming or she's self-harming, uh, and can't stay, out of the dope. And the other person standing before me has uh, committed a violent act against a human. I'm every day of the week gonna let the drug addict go every day of the week. But our judicial system is so fucked up that that's not what's happening. We are letting predators back out on the streets. Now, if we have room for all of them, keep them all. Shit, I don't want them out here. What do I want them out here for? Keep them locked up. For as long as they got to be locked up. Keep them both. You can have them both. I don't need anybody out here influencing my grandchildren. You know. But how many times have we heard of overcrowding? So we're letting child predators out of jail, and we're keeping addicts locked up. That's tell me where that makes any kind of sense at all. It makes no sense. 0 sense to me. 0. The judge let her out on bail after she did that. Nice. Some judges shouldn't be judges. Really. I would God. You guys, somebody probably would unalive me because I'd be a hard ass. I would. I am a hard ass when it comes to stuff like that. And I'd be a terrible judge because uh, I know there are laws, case studies, shit. Judges have have to abide by certain laws, and even a security guard in a prison, you guys. Me, I'm the girl. I'm the security guard with the cool looking subscription glasses and the mace, and um, I'm that security guard who's turning my head uh, whenever a violent offender against children is in the bathroom alone. That's me. So there you have it. I'd be weeding them out. That's the problem. These child abusers are getting slapped on the wrist and let out to reoffend. That's right. I understand the mom's words cutting deeper than the actual act itself. What an awful thing to say to your own child. Yes, yes, yes. Just because you can have children doesn't mean you should. Louder for those in the back. I've been saying this for years. It's the truth. People don't want to talk about it. We need to talk about it. Let's go march Washington. Even though you're over in the UK, Pink fan, come on, girl. It's I don't understand. It what is that just a concept that's too hard to wrap your head around and too hard to make happen? No. People want to go out and hurt themselves and they're addicts or whatever. Bye. Go do you. But if you're hurting other humans, oh negative, you gotta stay like right there. Just stay right there. Back go in the bathroom. Somebody will meet it. Somebody will be in there with you right away. Um Get more substances than red rum or yeah, zero zitch, nada, none, makes no sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. I watched the Louisiana pardon and parole hearings on YouTube, and they haven't let any out that are child predators. Good for them. Wow. Look up Georgia. Look up Georgia. Uh, I do know a couple cases in Georgia, and I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And then you guys remember when COVID hit, you know? And they were talking about the overcrowding and bullshit that was happening after COVID. They ended up letting a lot of people out, even during COVID, letting child predators out because they were sick and they were going to make everybody in the prison system sick. Well, hell, we don't want them. They're making me sick just by looking at them. That's what I think. And I matter. I matter. So I took Wednesday this morning. For y'all that don't know, Wednesday's my cat. Took her to the vet this morning, day before yesterday, which was I haven't slept yet, so that was Wednesday. On Wednesday, uh, my little kitten Wednesday was walking the underside of the couch. He had his belly on the facing the couch, upside down. His back was on the floor, and he was just using his claws to run underneath the couch. And his little hiney got swished out, And I was sitting at the chair and I was watching him, thinking, "You're just an odd cat doing that. That's weird. You're probably gonna mess up my couch." But it was cute. I let it happen. But his little hiney swished out, well, so he could turn himself around and go back the other way. And I just that split second, I saw it. And I was like, oh no. And I waited for him to finish his little zoomy he was having underneath the couch. And I called him over to me and he comes and I started petting him and I flipped him over and I looked at his junk, you guys, and it was a boy. I was like, well, you're not a girl. You're a boy. And I was a little floored by it. And we had a long talk about how I was not going to change his name to anything else, that he would always be called Wednesday. And I would be absolutely mistaking him for a girl all the time by talking about Wednesday, calling him a she. But that wasn't my fault. And to forgive me. So I made an appointment right away for him to go in and let's talk about getting him neutered and starting his vaccinations and stuff like that. Well, I took him in this morning, and the vet tech was in there with me, and she's like, "Well, what's her name?" And I said, his name is Wednesday, and it's a boy, and I'm not changing the name. And so, I mean, she's 4 months old. She already knows her name. I'm not doing it. So, um, anyways, she looked him over and all that, and she said, "Well, I've got some good news." She said, "This is a little girl." And I just sat there and looked at her for a minute. And she said, "So Wednesday's a girl." And I was like, "Look," I said, if I know anything, I know penises. And that cat right there has a penis. It's a boy." And she said, "Well, I don't think so." She said, "I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but when the doctor comes in, he'll take a look." Okay. So the doctor comes in and starts talking about Wednesday. And I absolutely love this vet. You guys, I can't stand it. I love him so much. He delivered Cheyenne's last litter of puppies. And I can't stand it. I love him. And so he picks Wednesday up and is petting her and him and doing all the things and sets him back down. And he picked up his tail and looked back there and he said, "Oh, you've got a little girl." And I was like, "No, no, it's not." And he said, "No, it's a girl." And I was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "He doesn't have testicles." I said, "But look in the front. He has a penis." And he just kind of looked at me. And then he flipped Wednesday around to look at him from the front side of it. And he said, "Okay, well, then he's been neutered." And I was like, "No, he hasn't been neutered either." And so he told me, he said, "Yeah, it's a boy, but he's been neutered." And I was like, "No, he hasn't been neutered. You're the first doctor he's ever seen." And he was like, "Wait a second." He started pushing on his belly and stuff. Wednesday was screaming his head off. He's not happy at all. Y'all, his testicles are way up high, way up high. They never dropped. So it looks like he doesn't have a scrotum. He has the scrotum, but there's no, you know, testes in there. And he's like, "Well, this changes things, Mom." He said, "We're gonna have to cut him." And he said to me exactly what Ann said. He said, "Normally, when it's a boy that comes in here and it gets neutered, we just give him a medicine to make him comfortable and not feel anything." And he said, "It's a really quick process. Snip, snip, it's over. No big deal." He said, "But because his testicles never dropped, they're still way high up into his abdomen." He said, "We have to cut him like we would a female and go fish for him and then cut him out." And I'm like, for the love of God. My heart was breaking. I'm cringing. I'm doing like Kegels in my seat because every time he says cutting for testicles, like my vagina was actually hurting, not gonna lie. And so I was like, "Well, I'm gonna need, you guys to let me know about how much it's gonna cost." Y'all, I paid $200 just for them to first tell me it's a girl and me to tell them no, it's not. And then them to give him 2 shots and to start his flea, ticks, worms, heartworm, all that stuff that they give him. $200. And I was like, "Well, I need to know about how much it's gonna cost to get his neutering done." Y'all, how about they told me $700? You heard me right. $700 is the quote. And I was like, Excuse me, what did you just say?" And I said, "You understand that, you know, Cheyenne surgery costs less than that. Cheyenne surgery to deliver 10 pups and to take her uterus out. They fixed her while they were in there. Um, and it was an emergency surgery. It wasn't one that I had planned. I had to bring her in on a Sunday on an emergency to have her C-section done. And uh, you guys, it only cost me 300 and something dollars to deliver 10 pups and to fix her while they had her open. Now it's $700. Uh, that was me. Y'all are all gasping, right? And I was like, look at here. I said, as much as I love you, and I do, I will always recommend you if anybody asks for a veterinarian. I was like, you're my guy. Like you're my guy. But I'll be damned. I said, I was like, who can afford that? Who who's paying $700? And he's like, well, we have to go in. And I was like, you also went into Cheyenne because they've got a big picture up on the screen, you guys, of Cheyenne and her puppies when I brought them back for their 2-week visit. Um, I signed a piece of paper that they could use their picture up there, and I absolutely love it. I was like, you charged me 300 and something dollars, less than $400 to have you fish for 10 puppies out of Cheyenne and take her uterus out. And now we're going to go look for 2 little balls and you're charging me 700. And he's like, look, I'm sorry. We got to do blood work. We got to do this. We got to do that. I was like, how about we don't do blood work? I mean, it is what it is. He needs to be fixed. So I was like, you know what? I said, I understand. Can I just get, you know, whatever I need? I'll be back next month to finish up because he's only going to have one more set of shots and then he'll be done for a year. And I said, I'll be back next month. And I said, I'm just going to start calling around. Now, I don't know if it has to do with because they're actually an animal hospital. So they do all of their own testing. They do all of their own surgeries. I mean, everything that can be done with an animal is done right there. They do all their own x-raying and MRIs. Everything is done right there. So I don't know if it's that for that reason or if it or if since COVID that the price went up that much. Because I would think doing emergency surgery on a Sunday afternoon and um, spaying a female while you're delivering 10 puppies, which he had to have 3 other people in the room with him because while he's delivering the puppies, he had to hand the puppy off and they had to stimulate the puppy to get it to breathe and stuff, which is what the mother usually does. So, and it still cost me under $400. So I don't know if COVID's what made it go up or what. So I was like, you know what? I said, I'm gonna have to. I said, you'll always be my vet. I always bring my dogs here. Wednesday, Simba, they'll all come here. I was like, but not for you to cut on them because no, I can afford that. And so I'm gonna call on Monday and we have, I don't know if you guys have it there, but we have it's called low cost spay and neuter. It's done through the Humane Society. And I think it's supposed to be like $120 or something like that. That to me makes more sense. $120 at the most $200, especially since they have to cut him and he's gonna have to wear a cone. I was told that. They were like, he's gonna lick it and we're gonna have to put a cone because he will have stitches. Um, whereas before he wouldn't have. And she said, and we'll have to laser it to make sure that the bleeding's. They just told me all this weird stuff. And I was like, "Oh, that's none of my business. I don't need the details." So, yeah, I couldn't believe it when they said $700. $700 to fix little Wednesday. And little Wednesday is stuck with the girl name. And there's nothing I'm going to do about it because he already knows his name. And my thought uh, when I thought it was a girl and named her Wednesday, I um I wanted to call her Winnie. I just love the name Winnie. And then Wednesday ended up just sticking. Wednesday, just I don't even call her Winnie. So I'm not gonna change the name, but I gotta get this. I mean, it's gotta be fixed. So terrible. Fundraiser for Wednesday. Sweet little Wednesday. It's okay, Slew Fairy. I'm gonna work it out. I mean, even if I have to put it on Beefcake's credit card, I'm gonna work it out because he's got to be fixed. You know, I don't need him spraying all over the house. That's why I got a girl so that I didn't have to deal with the spraying. And I don't think I've ever had a girl cat, and I wanted one. And my plan was always to get him fixed, right? But little did I know that that was a boy and its testes didn't drop. And that's why, I mean, even the doctor thought it was a girl. The vet tech thought it was a girl. The only reason why I knew is because, of course, I researched it. I don't know how long ago, but some animals, it's hard. Some kittens are hard to tell. And usually you can't tell a kitten until they're anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks, depending on when their testes do drop. um, as to if they're girl or boys. But a surefire way is to look at them from the front side at their little bippies, and if they have like if it's a complete circle at the head of their bippy, um, it just is it's completely round. That's a boy. If it has a little, if the hole is elongated, like then it's a girl. And he's got a complete circle. That's why I was like, look at him from the front and look at his bippy. Look at his penis. And when they did, they were like, oh God, it's a boy. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Spay and neuter clinics are much cheaper. I took 2 cats there. That's what I'm gonna have to do, Sleuthy, because he's got to be fixed. I mean, I don't want him trolling the neighborhood looking for female cats, and I don't want him getting another cat pregnant. Um, Aussie True Crime, hello. Hello, my friend. Vets are hella expensive. Thank God for pet insurance. See, I had pet insurance on Cheyenne because, she had puppies and I was breeding her. But these ones I don't because, knock on wood or whatever. I mean, my dogs have never been really sick. Newt ate a bee once and blew up like nobody's business. And I had to take him to the emergency vet to get a shot because he was having anaphylactic shock. So he's done that twice, um, where he ate a bee. And so now I keep Benadryl here. And the minute I see it happening, like I give him 2 Benadryl and just watch him. He still swells up, but not as bad as he used to. So I had that happen. And then Cheyenne ended up when she was a puppy eating a remote control, and the little springs that hold the battery in place. Somehow she was chewing on that. I didn't know about it. And the spring got wrapped around her tooth underneath the gum. And I had to take her and they had to cut it out. That's actually when I got pet insurance on Cheyenne because she was the only dog I had at the time. And I knew I was going to breed her. And I talked to the vet about it. He said, look, he said, you never know if what's going to happen. It's better just to have it. Y'all, I never used it. I never used it. So I don't have it anymore. Um, Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. 25 in chat. You guys, please hit the like for me. Come down and say hi out of the bushes. Appreciate it so much. So yeah, I'll call on Monday and try to and I know just from my daughter telling me this that the closest one to us, they have like a 2-month waiting list to get your cat in there. This cat's gonna be spraying my house. You guys, I won't be able to handle it. My cat got stung by a bee. She swelled up and she was thought for. I think you mean that she was dead for a while. Yeah, Newt I was at work and baby child was at home. That was when he was in high school, and I got a call from him, and he's like, "I don't know with Newt what's wrong with Newt, but his whole face is swelled up, his eyes are almost completely shut, and he seems like he's having trouble breathing." And I was like, "Can you just meet me at the vet?" And he met me there, and they gave him a shot, and then, he did it again. Well, they had told me then, they were like, "You need to keep Benadryl at the house, and anytime you notice him starting to swell for anything, give him 2 of these, and if, he continues to swell, get him back to the vet." Terrible. So but he's my only dog or cat that ever had any bee problems. So weird. So weird. Um, okay. Bloody spell check. I wonder why dogs do that. My dog loves to chomp bees too. I don't know. Maybe they smell the honey. I don't know. Well, my dogs will eat anything. They try to eat flies. They will eat not butterflies. There's never been, but moths and stuff. They're always chasing them, trying to eat them. So I don't know if the bees are just the same way or what, but I don't know. I don't know. I've got a picture of Newt. I was just trying to find it because they took a picture to send to me how bad he was swollen, and I'll have to find it. But that poor little guy. He's a little guy, anyways. He's on the smaller side for a golden retriever. Um, he's just a little guy. Cheyenne was on the bigger side of a golden retriever. She was a big old girl. She was 140 pounds when she passed. It was terrible. She was huge. They're as much our family as our kiddos. We worry and protect just as much. Yes. Hello, Diamond Lucidity. Hmm. Dottie was stung by a bee and her mouth swelled big. Vet said give her Benadryl. Yeah, you got to keep Benadryl on hand if you've got pets. There's a lot of medications you can look it up and keep on hand for your animals. Because a lot of the medications that they give animals is really human medication. It's just the portion that you give to them or the milligrams that you give to them is different, of course. I better go get some Benadryl. Yeah, Sleuthie, you got to keep Benadryl, honey. And I don't know if your dog or your cat likes cheese, but so like little girl, she will just swallow her. I could give little girl anything, y'all. She's gonna eat it. I give my dogs fish oil just in the caplets, you know, the gel caps. I give them fish oil. Usually I just puncture it and I squeeze it on their food. Little girl, no, you just hand it to her. Homegirl's gonna eat it. Newt is like negative. I'm not eating that. So if you've got an animal, give them cheese, wrap that in cheese and just shove it in there and have another one right ready to go. They'll swallow real quick so they could get the second one. That's what I do with Newt because he's like, I'm not eating that crap. I'm not eating any pills. I don't like it. Yeah, it's important to have that stuff for sure. And they have amoxicillin and different kinds of antibiotics. Because, like I said, it's just human antibiotics. You guys, you just have to find out from your vet how much to give. Like if they've got an ear infection or they've got God, Cheyenne used to get ear infections, and I just got tired of paying the stupid prices. I knew when she had an ear infection, and I you can go to like Chewy.com or one of those pet supply places, and you don't need a prescription for that, you guys. It's better just to keep it on hand. Ham and cheese always works. Yeah, yeah, right. Newt is so funny though because he knows that I'm giving him a pill. And so he'll sit there and look at me and I can see him like moving his tongue around, trying to get the so he could spit the pill out. And I just hold his mouth closed and he swallows it. Or if I have one like right next to him ready to go, like a piece of cheese or a piece of ham or bologna or whatever, he'll hurry up and swallow that just so he can get the other piece. We have yellow jackets around here. I'm afraid to even go outside. A bee guy came over, searched property, found no nest. Indiana, feel like prisoner to my own home. Never had this problem. Wow. I wonder if anybody around you has is keeping any bees. The first year I moved in this house, which now been 2.5 years ago, um, there were bees everywhere. And my mother-in-law was over visiting and she said, I think you've got someone that's keeping bees somewhere. She was right. It was like 4 houses down. They had 2 bee boxes that they were getting honey from. I didn't find that out until later, but she was right. Just trying to find that picture. I cannot find it of Newt. Cannot find it. All right. I guess it's just not that important to find it then. Sometimes when things happen, you just have to realize, well, that's not how it's supposed to happen, and you just let it go. All right, y'all. I think everybody's tired or ready to go to bed or ready to wake up. So I'm going to shut this one down. Thanks you guys so much for coming. I appreciate y'all being here. I think I don't know what she's doing with the book, if she's taking the weekend off or whatever. But if you're interested in listening to the narrating of the Madeline McCain book, Maggie, I cannot even speak. Maggie has been narrating that on the channel during the day. So if you want to check that out, but I'm pretty sure she'll probably take the weekend off because that's when her and Honey watch shows together. So, but anyway, she's got 3 days up there right now reading the book. We're way past the crime already in it and way past the investigation. So, it was written by her mother. It's a great book. Thanks you guys for being here. Mad Mods, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thank you, chatters. I appreciate you being here. Sleuth Fairy, it was really good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Everybody else, thanks for being here. I appreciate it so much. Can't be good at it, and send me some pics. Love pictures. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. See you guys next time. Bye.
Whoa, This song's got an end, no endless chain. No need to press replay again. Subscribers, you know it's short and sweet. Not 3 hours long, just a quick beat. Lean in, can play it for a short break. No long loops giving you a headache. Sit back, relax, or maybe don't. it's your choice, it's all yours to own. No replay, need to listen now. Just a quick tune to lift your brow. This song will end, you can be sure. No endless pain, just vibes so pure. No place called home, just a brief stay. Catchy tunes will brighten your day. Short and simple, that's our style. Hope it brings you a brief smile. It won't take you long to feel the beat. No dragging time, it's light and sweet. Leany notes, this one's a breeze. Short enough to put you at ease. No replay, need to listen now. Just a quick tune to lift your brow. This song will end, you can be sure. No endless pain, just vibes so pure. Whoa, oh, won't take you long to feel the beat. No dragging time, it's light and sweet. Oh, it really knows this one's a breeze. Short enough to put you at ease. No replay, need to listen now. Just a quick tune to lift your brow. This song will end, you can be sure. No endless pain, just vibes so pure.